Hello, my name is Gabriel and Icon, your host. I am the chairman and founder of the Charity Medical Foundation and IT Inc. Also DBA as Charity Med Founded and IT Inc. Information Technology, you can call it. And also the founder and chairman of the Confit Global Health Consulting for my consulting work and contract with the US government, local, state, and federal. So I'm just starting. Hopefully I get partners that I can invest, and also to get those contracts, because you need to have money down to handle this $1 million contract, and that's the reality. Get a $50 million or $50 million contract. The government will not be paying that money to you right away. So you need to have the capacity in your bank to be able to handle a $50 million work, knowing that it will be paid. It might require hiring 1,000 people or 2,000 people. So it's just a start. It's gonna go well in the future. But before further ado, today's topic will be presentation, and topic will be the threat of leadership. Because there are too many confusion about leadership and management, I will give to the world today the true definition of leadership, the way God view it, and I also will be talking about the way that people live their life in America and around the world, ignoring the word of God and believing more and more on material possession, thinking that it is the way to describe God in their life, an imaginary God. And I'm also going to be talking about the New World Order. I'll be talking about Africa. After you watch the next video, that video will tell you a little bit about one of the president, I believe it was the president of Ghana, meeting the president of France, and the way he was talking was very important for the world to know about Africa. So I want you to listen to that video, and then I'll get back to you later on.
I hope that the comments I'm about to make will not offend the questioner too much and some people around here. I think there is a fundamental misstatement of the issue in the question. We can no longer continue to make policy for ourselves, in our country, in our region, in our continent, on the basis of whatever support the Western world or France or the European Union can give us. It will not work. It has not worked, and it will not work. Our responsibility is to charter a path which is about how we can develop our nations ourselves. It is not right for a country like Ghana, 60 years after independence, to still have its health and education budgets being financed on the basis of the generosity and charity of European taxpayers. By now, we should be able to finance our basic needs ourselves. And if we are going to look at the next 60 years as a period of transition, a period whereby we can stand on our own feet, our perspective has not to be what the French taxpayer decides to do, whatever surpluses that they have in France. They're welcome. They're appreciated. Whatever interventions that the French taxpayer through their governments make to us are appreciated. They're not going to make a gift horse in the mouth. But this continent, and with all that has happened, is still today the repository of at least 30% of the most important minerals of the world. It's a continent of vast, arable, and fertile lands. It has the youngest population of any of the continents in the world. So it has the energy the dynamism. We've seen it. These young men who are showing so much resilience and ingenuity in crossing the Sahara, finding ways to go across rickety boats across the Mediterranean. Those energies, we want to have those energies working inside our countries. And we're going to have those energies working in our countries if we begin to build systems that tell the young people of our country that their hopes, their opportunity are right here with us. Migration in the movement of people is being presented in a manner which suggests that somehow it's a new phenomenon. There's nothing new about it. It's as old as man, the movement of people. And it has always been linked to the same thing. The failure of where you are to provide you with an opportunity, so you move somewhere else. Those of you who are familiar with 19th century European history would know that the biggest wave of immigration in 19th century Europe, the latter part of it, came from Ireland and from Italy. Waves upon waves, generations of Italians and the Irish people left their countries to seek the American paradise, largely because Ireland was not working, Italy was not working. Today, you don't hear it. Italian young people are in Italy. Irish young people are in Ireland. We want young Africans to stay in Africa. And how are they? And it means that we have to get away from this mindset of dependence. This mindset about what can France do for us. France will do whatever it needs to do for its own sake. And when those coincide with ours, tant mieux, as the French people say. But our main responsibility as leaders, as citizens, is what we need to do to grow our own country. What are the institutions that work that will allow us to have good governance, to have accountable governance, to make sure that the monies that are placed at the disposal of leaders are used for the interests of the state and not for those of the leaders, to have systems that allow for accountability, that allow for diversity, that allow for people to be able to express themselves and contribute to fashioning the public will and the public needs. Our concern should be with what do we need to do in this 21st century to move Africa away from being cap in hand and begging for aid, for charity, for handouts. The African continent, when you look at its resources, should be giving monies to other places. We have huge wealth on this continent. In our own country of Ghana. And we need to have a mindset that says, we can do it. Others have done it. We can also do it. And once we have that mindset, we will see it as a liberating factor for ourselves. We keep talking about how it was that Koreans, Malaysians, Singaporeans, who got their independence at the same time as us. We're told of that at the time of Ghanaian independence, per capita Ghanaian income was higher than that of Korea. Today, Korea is part of the first world. So is Malaysia. So is Singapore. What happened? Why did they make that transition? And 60 years after independence, we are where we are. Those are the matters that should concern all of us as Africans, as Ghanaians. And not, when I say so with the greatest of respect to the French president, I mean the corporation of France is something that I am a strong friend of France. I am Francophile. So I don't have any difficulty with that. But I'm talking about our own propulsion, what we need to do to get our countries to work so that we can create the conditions that will allow our young people to forego this hazardous effort to get to Europe. They're not going there because they want to. They're going there because they don't believe there are any opportunities in our countries. So that should be our focus. I believe that with that we change that mindset of dependence, that mindset which is contingent on aid and charity, we will would see that in the decades ahead of us, the full flower of the African community would take place. And that new African personality that was talked about at the time of our independence will become real and imminent in our time. That's what I'm saying. I hope that I'm not upsetting the questioner or even some of my friends who are here. But these are my strongly held beliefs. And that is the reason why I've adopted as the slogan of my presidency, of my period in supreme office of Ghana, that we want to build a Ghana beyond aid. A Ghana which is independent, which is self-sufficient, that is capable of standing on its own feet and building its own life. We can do it if we have the correct mindset to do so. Mr. President, those are my contributions.
Vous aviez besoin d'avoir la preuve qu'une nouvelle génération de leaders en Afrique croit dans une nouvelle histoire pour l'avenir et la jeunesse, vous venez de l'avoir. Pour ceux qui pensaient que ce n'était que les mots d'un président français parlant de l'Afrique. Il y a des leaders en Afrique qui veulent une nouvelle relation, qui veulent un avenir pour leur jeunesse dans leur pays, dans leur continent, qui le veulent parce que c'est ce qu'ils veulent écrire. Donc merci pour cela.
So, no, we'll be here forever. We'll be here forever. He has a lot of ideas and a lot of very positive things to say. And as you can see, I have my own things to contribute as well. So, let's bring it to an end. We're going to, Mr. Macron left Abidjan after a hectic morning. Has not had anything to eat. He at least has to have that side of Ghanaian hospitality. So we're going to be introduced for him to have some lunch. Thank you very much indeed.
Hello, welcome to the Conflict Global Health Consulting, or the Charity for Medical, Pharmaceutical, and Innovative Technology. I am here, came back again, and I can assure you that to be a leader, Jesus Christ came in this earth. He didn't went to school. He didn't went to university. He didn't even went to theological school of the time. But he have the talent in him. He have the potential in him. He have the skill of leadership in him. God don't view leadership like we do view leadership. Today, if you look at Donald Trump, most people must say, well, he doesn't have the managerial skill to be a president. I want to say to people that you're wrong. Ignorance is a crime in our civilized society. Not knowing and thinking that we know, you are more dangerous than a nuclear weapon, because the information you will be giving to people might be wrong and might be detrimental to the society. So let me explain and give you more clarity in that. A leader, the difference between a leader and a manager. When I talk about manager, I'm referring to the position of the presidency, because I was referring to Donald Trump. Leadership is different than being a manager. A leader needs followers. A manager needs subordinate, mean people under him. A leader don't need that. A leader only needs followers. If you see closely how Donald Trump is acting, he's acting like a true leader. It has nothing to do with his managerial position. A manager have a formal appointed position in which he will be over people that will take order directly from him. But in a leadership, a leader is not in that state. Anyone can be a leader. It means they can take a person at the bottom of the pyramid and put him in a position of leadership, because leadership is a skill that certain people possess. It's not an appointed formal position. That's why people don't understand. When I see people going there, they say they are consulting with CNN and go there, well, he doesn't fit to be president. You don't understand your knowledge. You're ignorant. You have to go and read. Donald Trump is actually defining what leadership is, because he is doing everything according to his followers, people who are following him. That's what he's doing. And every single time a leader has that potential of appealing to his base, persuading people, that is the way a person can demonstrate his leadership skill. It has nothing to do with his position as president. The title that you put president, that is a managerial position. It is a formal appointed position. But to be a leader, you have to go out of it. Persuade people so people can voluntarily follow him. But as a manager, people don't voluntarily follow him. They are subordinate to him. So it is a conditional relationship. So you have to know the difference. There are too many ignorance in this world, and people listen to things I heard. You have to go and learn and read before you come and talk. And I see a lot of people on TV talking. He is doing exactly what leadership is. And you might say that, well, that's the definition. No, go back to the Bible. Jesus Christ have no credential, academic credential. But until today, people are still learning the Bible. People don't even understand that Bible that been in this world for more than 2,000 years. So God took him and placed him into, he was a leader and as a humble man. He was not a leader as a star. He was a leader as a humble man. Now, I always been asking question, why do Archangel Michael is the chief of angels, when actually, when I look the structure of the kingdom of heaven, he is not in the top of angels, because you have the cherubim, you have the cherubim, the seraphim. Those are very powerful. Those are close to God. It's like the cabinet of the president. Okay, you have the thrones. Those are close to God. Those angels are 6 wings. You see them. If you have not seen them before, you will faint. But they look beautiful, but you have never seen it before, so you're gonna faint. You will faint because it is unprecedented, right? 6 wings, 2 wings normal, another wing to close the eyes, and the other wings to hold their feet when they are in the presence of God, so it doesn't touch the floor, the ground where God is, right? Because they're close to God. That's why they have those 4 extra wings. Close their eyes because they are not allowed to look God in His face, and their feet should not touch the ground where God is. So those wings are there for it. That's what they're there for. If you go in the throne of God, you will see that those angels there that I'm talking about, the cherubim, the seraphim, you don't see the face. It's covered with their wings. That's the position they have. But they can see things. In the spiritual level, even if they cover their face, they can still see what's going on. But they're not looking. Now, how do Archangel Michael is a chief? When I was reading that information, the Holy Spirit said to me, you have the answer of your question. Because that's exactly what you were asking. Why do a person in a lower level was appointed to a higher level? Because he had the skill of leadership. He is the one who fought against Satan when Satan revolted. Everybody else was he's the one who came forth. He's the one who gathered people and say, I'm going to fight for God. You know, when Satan had 1/3 of the angel coming from all over the glitches, he's the one who reorganized the other angel, the 2/3, and he was the head and fought against it, against Lucifer, and he won because God was with him. Since then, he got appointed as a chief of the angels, even though that he's in the bottom. That's how God views leadership, and that is the true definition of leadership. Even here in this earth, when you go and read literacy, and then you come back and you see how Jesus was in the earth. He was a leader as a humble man. But today people believe to be a leader you got to have 10 PhD, 20 of this. Nah, you don't need that. A leader needs followers, and Jesus can have followers. Everything I'm saying here makes complete sense. That's what a true leader is, and Donald Trump is doing exactly that. And people don't understand what he's doing. Those are spiritual people. Somebody don't end up in a White House just by eating burger and successful man. And not. They are very spiritual. When you guys are sleeping, they are walking in spirit. They do study. They travel in the spiritual world to understand things that you don't. That's why they are above, they are advanced than you guys. God have given opportunity to people to go beyond the frontier, beyond the limit, to discover things. But people want to be ignorant. They want to listen to what people are telling them. And everybody think they know. The day that you're going to say, the only thing I know is that I know nothing, you will start learning. It is the best way to start learning. Because you have to start learning. Like a baby. The world it is immense. The knowledge is vast, it's unlimited. No one have the monopoly of that. But the fact and the truth is, you must be humble to be willing to learn. Like I just spoke about leadership position. People don't know that. That's the reason why when Obama was president, he actually nominated the secretary of the army was actually an enlisted. He was not even an officer. Because that's actually what it is. As leadership, the managerial skills are not necessary. You only need to be able to appeal to people to follow your idea. If people can voluntarily follow you, you are a leader. It has nothing to do with managerial position. Because as a manager, it is an appointed formal position in which people will get order from you. They want it or not. It's not a choice. They have to do it for the paycheck or to be promoted. If they don't do it, they're out. as a manager. But as a leader, if they don't want to follow you, no consequences. That's what it is. So people have to mix up. They don't understand. You have to understand. That's why I understand what Donald Trump is doing. When every time he's going on Twitter and doing things, he's touching into his base. And that is a leadership skill, because he actually have followers. The same thing Jesus Christ had. The same thing Archangel Michael did when he gathered the 2/3 of the angel left and said, follow my command. We're gonna stay behind our true God. And other people also went behind Lucifer. That's why Lucifer is also a leader in the world of darkness, because he has followers. 1/3 of the angel follow him. Now, coming back to Africa, about the video that you guys watched. Many people are very they don't understand the word. They are very limited in things. When the Holy Spirit come in me, giving knowledge. The people of Africa, you guys, sometimes you say you know things, you believe. Many of you are intellectual, okay? But don't get confused between intellectual intelligence, emotional intelligence, and spiritual intelligence. They are three different things. Intellectual intelligence that everybody claims to have is a serial processing methodology to encompass what we believe we know in practice. But it goes gradually. It means you learn 1 + 1 = 2, and then you start learning about equation, quadratic equation, all these things. It is gradual. It's a serial process. Everybody has that. Even somebody on the street have some intellectual intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence and intellectual intelligence is on the left side of the brain. The emotional intelligence is on the right side. Emotional intelligence is a parallel processing. It means it is independent. It can end up anywhere, disconnected with some reality. Now, the spiritual intelligence is a synchronized processing. And a synchronized processing is better and it is powerful than any other intelligence. Remember, when you have a phone, you synchronize your phone with your TV through a Chromecast, so that what you see on the phone can appear on your TV. That is called synchronization. That is how the spiritual intelligence function. It means it match whatever other intelligence is. So many of you have intellectual intelligence. Some of you have emotional intelligence, or all of us have intellectual intelligence and emotional intelligence, but few of us have spiritual intelligence. And spiritual intelligence is needed to be successful into this world. And that's why many of my people lack, especially people in Africa, they lack spiritual intelligence. Because when you have spiritual intelligence, you synchronize with all other intelligence and you understand things. And that only comes through the help of the Holy Spirit. Yeah. Let me start, because many people have too many information, intelligent information, but they don't know how to synchronize it with the truth of the whole picture. I'll give you that too. I'll give it to you at this point. Africa is what it is. Not because we have done something, but it is what in the spirit they call the wheel of power. When God have that wheel turn, he doesn't look at the race. He look at the continent. The continent of Africa used to be the power of the world. And that wheel is turning. That wheel left Africa, it went to Asia. It left Asia, it came to Europe. It left Europe and it came to America. And then that wheel will leave America and go somewhere else as appointed by God above. That is the truth that nobody should deny and nobody should not forget about it. That it will never gonna happen. It will happen. It's not about it will never gonna happen, but it's all about when it will happen. That will continue to turn. Now, God don't look the skin. We're gonna be the powerful nation. We're gonna look continents. When Africa was the continent, the powerful continent, we were all together as kingdom, united. And other nations, European, they were coming in Africa to study because they were poor. In Europe, they were all poor. When you go back to history, they were living like used to call them they're living in villages. They were coming in Africa to study. That's where you have Thales the Millet, Pythagore. All of those people came to study mathematics in Egypt. Now, all the mathematics that even people in the Babylonian kingdom, they took it from Egypt because it was there that everybody came to study. Even if you go to other university, Timbuktu, in the big Malian kingdom, and the Ghanaian kingdom, all those people, they're all united. They have the power, they have the wealth, gold, and all these things. Now the power shifted. It went to Asia. Asia rise and it shifted. When Alexander the Great came, the power came to Greece in Europe, and it stayed in Europe for a very long time. So now, we in Africa, we are in a position where the power will return, but at God appointed time. Generation have to be strong and be wise. Seek for spiritual intelligence by connecting to the Holy Spirit. Now, what happened? After World War II, I've explained this before, that the New World Order started a long time ago. Controlled by Lucifer. When the power shifts, it shifts. Lucifer go with what God has in place. And other nation or continent are subordinate. You want it or not. That's how Lucifer functions. He uses what God has in place and make it evil. Here on earth as reality. He have people on top and he has to have people on the bottom. And what Lucifer does, he chooses about 5% of those people to control all the 95% of people. Because he doesn't want too many people to have a lot of power. He will not be able to control all of them. So if he have 5% on top that have most of the money, that he can control the 95%, making laws and making things, and then you guys are just there subservient to listen. That's what it is. That's how Lucifer functions. So with the Rothschild family working with the Luciferian evil kingdom, they created us that ideology of domination, imperialism, and capitalism. When the power came in Europe, that's what happened. When Egypt was in power, they didn't want to share the knowledge with anybody else. It's the same thing we did. So now it's the turn of the European and the Americans to do. They do exactly what we did. Now, what happened? After World War II, Europe was completely broke. America came along with a martial law to loan money to Europe. Now, I want people of Africa to listen closely here, because many of you think you know, but I think you don't. When the martial money was given, they will answer a lot of questions to many people why America is not in Africa too much. I'll ask you a question today. Why Russia is in Asia? I'll answer you. Now, when the money was loaned to the European nation, the European nation had to repay the money to America. So they did at the United Nations that they created, they did an assembly in which country of Africa was not part of, to divide Africa so that they can create a system to explore Africa so that they can pay those money and develop the country. I hope you understand what I'm saying here. That's the reason why no president, no representative was present into that meeting when they divided Africa. It was a strategy, and America accepted that because they want the money back. They want them to develop. Russia didn't take the money from the martial law. But Russia said, we're not going to Africa, we're going to go to Asia. That's the reason why Asia have a lot of communism in there. That's what happened. Now when you talk, you're only looking France. France is not your problem. You're dealing with a Luciferian kingdom, my friend. You can talk what you want to talk, but until that will come back, the generation in between just gonna have to suffer. Everything has its time, and everybody has the time. We can blame. Actually, they're in place. Yes, they can do something. It means sacrifice themselves is what you're asking them. Something they don't gonna do. Because that's all they have to do. They're gonna be sacrificial. There is nothing they're gonna achieve unless they sacrifice themselves. It means they come and say, I don't gonna go to this. I better lose my position and die for this. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. But sacrifice with God is very vital. It will bring some change. The reason why country in Africa had independence is because many of our ancestors died. They were bloodshed, so they have no other choices than giving independence. But what independence? When they went, they did exactly what they did. They signed up, deal with Africa in a certain way that you still colonize in a very polite way. That's what it is. You want to talk about the UN? The UN is a Luciferic organization to control the world. You just don't understand it. That's what it is. They are the one who divided Africa the way it is. It was made where it was done where in Germany. So let's say Germany can still stay in power as the first power, as one of the powerful nations. That's what it is. It was done in Germany. The division of Africa. Now you wanted to say, why do in Asia they are developing more than country in Africa? Good question. Because There were not people. The Asian people have a religion called Buddhism. And in Buddhism, you believe in principles. And when you believe in principles, you stay with it. And plus, communism came along. And in communism, if it is well applied, money is saved into the treasury of each country, because everybody have the same salary. So all the interests will be saved into the treasury of each country. Now, in addition to Buddhism that they have, they don't play. When they say something, they stand with it, even if they're gonna have to die. So it helped them a lot to develop. And when they say, you will not exploit our natural resources unless you build industry here in our lands. And that's exactly what the European did and the American did. But the Americans said, and the European did, said, okay, no problem. We're going to build that, but we don't going to pay you too much money. They said, no problem. But they knew what they were doing. They were doing calculation for 50 years. They were paying them $1 an hour. No problem. But they knew that in time, you're going to be in the water. Too much investment, you cannot take everything right away so quick. So they said, well, the world have changed. You have to raise the wages. Now you're going to increase your taxes. Now you are a company, you own a company, you can do it. What happened? You need to have a deal with them. You give a portion of your company to citizens of that country. That's how they start developing. Africa failed to do that. That's the reason why they are advanced more than us, even though that we have independence at the same time. We people have to come back. We have to move out of our belly of eating and start using our brain and accept suffering and the sacrifice for others. The Asian country were able to do that. Sacrifice for others. They believe in ideology, not in money. Look just North Korea. People are looking a nuclear weapon launch and they are applauding like it is a success. They live in a different world. Ideology, bring them up. It is what it is. People don't get it. When people stand and only looking at their belly to eat and not sacrificing for other people, you don't wonder why you're still behind. That's what it is. Even though that the Luciferian machine is still in place to make sure that the 95% are where they're supposed to be. Sacrifice cannot be ignored by God and cannot be ignored by Lucifer himself. We need that kind of sacrifice in Africa to make it develop. So people can sacrifice for other people. You don't wonder why the Asian countries have developed the way they developed. Back then, African countries were more developed than Asian countries during the time of independence. But today, it's opposite. Countries like Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, Malaysia, they are developing in a degree. But they don't even have all the resources that Africa has. Intellectual ability as well. The people are too much into their own interests. Where do you want the continent to go? You can only blame yourself. Because if Asia was able to do it, despite the Luciferic government in place. We in Africa can also do that. Now, America have accepted that because they want the money back. So if you loan money to somebody, what you gonna do? You're gonna want that person to be successful so that they can reimburse your money. It is all normal. So America said, you go in Africa and do, they were part of the meeting in Germany. They were there. Now, America is only interested in what can make them earn money right away, like in Congo. Diamonds, uraniums, and all those things that you make computer and microchips and cell phones. That's the reason why they are in Democratic Republic of Congo, because of diamonds and all of these things, and uraniums and all of those things that you make computer, microchip, you make satellite and all this. So that's what they're interested in that specific country. And I also believe they are also the one behind in Zimbabwe with the Chinese, because they also have minerals there. So you have to know that, because it is a big surprise that the President Mugabe go and meet Vladimir Putin, and incidentally the next week is out. It means that people say no. That money will not go to Vladimir Putin. It will come to us. So we have to take him up real quick and put somebody there. That's what they did. Because what Mugabe was trying to do, he was trying to solidify his power by making a deal with Vladimir Putin, so that Vladimir Putin can come and get access to those resources and keep him in power so that he can give it to his wife. But things didn't work out like that. They saw that coming, and the American and Chinese said, "You gotta go," and they did it so quick. What you see, you're talking about developing in Africa, you need people with courage. God is looking for people who are willing to suffer, who are willing to accept hard time. If your flesh cannot be killed, you will never develop spiritually. There is no other way. If you do not accept, you can't accept your flesh to be killed, you will never develop spiritually. You have to be able to suffer physically in order for you to ascend spiritually. I am not the one who created that theory. It is God. You read the Bible. It is all over the place. All over the place. If you read the Bible, from Moses, Noah, Enoch, Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Aaron, Joshua, Daniel, Barak, you have Ruth, Esther, Jeremiah, coming back to Samuel, David, Saul, and you're going back to Solomon's, to Jesus Christ. Those people went to a process of flesh killing so that they can ascend spiritually. God don't change. It's not because of your situation that you're going to think that God have changed His word. No, it's the same thing. Because some people today say, no, it was the thing of the past. Now you don't quite understand who God is, my friend. If you say God don't change, don't come up later on and say, no, it was the thing of the past. Because the Bible don't have edition. It's the same book. How do you believe that book is still the same book after many generations, up to your generation today, and even after you? You're not the best. Before you, in your position, it was somebody else, and there will be somebody else after you. And that same Bible will be applied to him as well. And he's going to look your life and say that was the past. See, vanity of vanity, all is vanity. We come and play our game and go and vanish. And other people come, they do the part and vanish. The position you have, somebody had it yesterday and somebody will have it tomorrow after you leave it. There's nothing you benefit from doing evil things. What you can benefit from a temporary position is to help people, is to make sure that you leave a mark of a lasting purpose of transforming people's life and bringing a social change into community, into society. That's the mission in which we were created for. The people come in this world, they become weak of the society intimidation and start deviating from the truth and start thinking that is the way. It is not. Jesus Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. There's no other way you're talking about. Jesus Christ come and say, if you are willing to be saved, there is no other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. That is Corinthians chapter 3 verse 11. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. That is Acts chapter 4 verse 12. Repent and be baptized every one of you in the name of Jesus Christ for the remission of your sin, and he shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. That's Acts chapter 2 and verse 38. Now he said to you, surrender now, come now, and let us reason together. That's what God is saying. Saith the Lord, thought your sins be as a scarlet, they should be as white as snow. Thought they be red like crimson, they should be as wool. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 18. So the point is this: what other way you have? The way of this world? Either you're Buddhist, either you are a Jew, either you are a Scientologist, or either you are an atheist or an Egyptologist. Whatever religion you are, or you are a Jew, whatever religion you are, Jesus Christ is coming in. There is no other foundation beside him. And I said to you last time that the only reason you cannot be saved is to reject that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and your Savior. People go to hell not because of the sin that they are accused of, because Jesus Christ said, everyone who come in my name, your past is wiped out, because I paid the price for it. So people go to hell not because of what they have done, but because of the rejection of Jesus Christ in their heart. And many people don't know that. You're gonna go to hell, you'll be surprised. You're gonna tell you, this man is here because he never knew me on earth. Period. He doesn't gonna say about he raped this, he's still over there, he stole over there. No. He's gonna say because he never knew me. Period. Is that all, Jesus? You might be left there too. So you never understood my mission then, if you ask that question. Now, it is very valid because the sacrifice he did was so immense that men didn't recognize Jesus Christ on earth because of lies. And today people think that they are different. Their reality today, prototype of the kind of life of Jesus Christ. From the same government, manipulation and lies. And people are weak not to support what is right according to God. And they stand behind and say, we believe in God. It doesn't matter if I read the passage of the Bible. It doesn't matter if I do. What matters is if I can apply this in real life. Like I said last time to you, faith is not measured by what you say or what you think you're going to do. Faith is measured according to what you do in your life, applying the principles of the Bible of God in your life. Is not about, I'm a good man or that. No, but not that. You have to let your way of life be a reflection of what the Bible says. So people can look at you like they're looking at a tree to retrieve the fruits of your work, like they can retrieve the fruits of a tree. That's what it is. That's what life is all about. That's why Christianity is the highest of the highest. The pursuit of Jesus Christ is the highest of the highest doctrine above all other religion. It is meant to listen. Noah preached for 120 years in the world. Nobody wanted to listen. When the time came for water, people start seeking for salvation, and God said it is too late. You make your decision a long time ago. You have to bear the fruit of your decision. And all people die. I am here today, I am talking, people are not listening. When tomorrow something gonna happen, they're gonna start looking for salvation and start saying, we should have listened to this man. I'm talking to you, and I'm saying to people today, in the entire continent of America, in Europe or in Africa, all leaders, including the one in Cameroon who think that he have me. Let me tell you something. The only reason I'm gonna fail, it is if I give up my faith to the true God. I tell you today, like Elijah spoke that he would not reign for 3 years in the place in which he was. I'm not gonna say that here, but what I will say is, if what you guys are wishing for me to happen, to fail, not to succeed, not to have a better life, not to have my wife and children, and have better income, be a millionaire or billionaire, or even a trillionaire, the only reason it will not happen is that the God that I believe in is not the true God. I'm telling you again, what you believe of me to happen will only happen if the God I believe in is not the true God. But I want to warn you, if somehow in your consciousness you know that the God I believe in is the true God, you have to be careful on how you treat me today, because the way you treat me today will depend on how our relationship will be tomorrow. If you know that the God I believe in your consciousness, that is true God, you have to be careful how you treat me, because the way you treat me today will depend on how our relationship will be tomorrow. I believe in the true God, the God of the heaven, the God I know, the God I pray, and the God I invite in the spirit in my life. And I know that for sure, because I pray and I saw the manifest physically, not in a dream, not in something. I invite, I pray, the presence of Jesus Christ is there, the presence of angels are there. I can see the spirit physically. I'm not talking about a dream that, no. This is not a dream. This is a real thing, real faith, real application of faith, and it is a real story. I don't go into channel or TV and start talking about it. Being famous without helping people is vanity. So only the Holy Spirit will be able to bring forth these news to touch people's heart, so that people can join me into my movement. Success is on the rise and it will be coming. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. And have a pleasant holiday coming very soon.